How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame and we are back with another FPL video, and today it's a double whammy of videos. Firstly, we got the captaincy video here for Game Week 6, where we go through my 5 best captaincy options, 4 of which I think are pretty much guaranteed in most people's teams as an option for this week. And then we usually pick one that's kind of a differential sort of captaincy, or someone that might not be as necessarily as obvious as all of the other ones. If you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and make sure to turn the notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Also, give us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch. Twitch is where we do our streams for the preview and deadline stream. The deadline stream this week and next week will be on Thursdays at 7 p.m. EDT, and make sure to follow us over on Twitter so that you can see the bulletin that goes out every week on Sundays to show you what content is coming out for the week and if there are any changes to the stream/video schedule. So without further ado, let's get into the captaincy picks. Now, the first captaincy choice that we have this week is pretty obvious. It is the Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah. He currently sits at 12.3 million in the midfield slot, 48 points, 6 goals, 1 assist, 47% ownership, and 7 points in the previous game week. Now, he has a FDR rating of 3 versus Sheffield United here in game week 6, but as we know, Salah is super clinical at home. He scored 3 goals in his last 2 away games as well, so the man is on fire. Having 6 goals already this season, he's shown to be at the top of the charts in terms of not only points, but also captaincy options as well. He is someone who's going to shoot in bunches. That does lower his BPS, but with Sheffield United looking so bad at the back, just not the same with Dean Henderson, not there anymore, having Ramsdale come in. He's done a serviceable job, but Dean Henderson literally saved them several goals last season from going in the back of their net. And offensively, they just don't pose a threat, which means that it could be the fullback's time to shine finally after having such a torrid start clean sheet wise, only keeping, I believe, 1 so far this season. Van Dijk's out, Alisson's out, so it's looking a bit ropey at the back. But in terms of offense, I think Liverpool is still definitely up there. Could have scored, 3 or 4 versus Everton, likewise the other way around. But it could just be, a bit of a one-way shootout here. And I think Salah's going to be the front runner for the captaincy going into game week 6. Our second captaincy option this week is Harry Kane. He currently sits at 10.7 million in the forward line, 60 points this season with 5 goals, 7 assists to his name, just shy of 35% ownership, and scored back-to-back 16 pointers in game week 4 and game week 5, getting a 21 point haul in game week 2 to boot that as well, and has a very nice fixture versus Burnley with an FDR rating of 2 here in game week 6. He's just on fire. I mean, they got rid of Eriksen and they just replaced him with Harry Kane, and then they took the old Harry Kane that was dropping deep, doing not too much for Spurs last season, and replaced him with the old Harry Kane. He's just doing everything that you want to see out of a forward. He's scoring goals, he's creating chances, he's dropping deep when he needs to, he's getting in the box when he needs to, he's taking shots when he needs to. His XG from open play is like 3rd, I think it is. His XG from the penalty spot is going to be ridiculously high because he typically always scores his penalties as well. And it's not like he's exceeding his XG. He is around about correct in terms of how many points he should be scoring, how many goals he should be scoring. Him and Son just seem like a deadly duo, and I think he's going to be even more, kind of valuable to the team, especially with Bale coming in. I mean, he could have had another assist in the West Ham game, and it could have been 4-2 lights out if Bale puts away that relatively, easy chance once he got into that position after, working a great move around the defender. And I think that Kane is definitely a very good consideration. And he has a knack scoring versus Burnley as well, and in bunches at that. So I think Kane is probably the next option on the captaincy list for game week 6. Next up on our list is the other side of Merseyside, the man who can't stop scoring, Dominic CalvertLewin. He hasn't blanked yet, and that's why he's going up 0.7 million this season, from 7 million all the way up to 7.7 million in the forward line. 43 points, 7 goals, 0 assists, 54.2% ownership, which is absolutely crazy, and then 6 points in the previous game week, in game week 5, having scored versus the Premier League champions in Liverpool. He has an FDR rating of 3 versus Southampton away, but don't let that deceive you. It's probably more likely of an FDR rating of 2 Southampton have shown that their, backline still isn't, intact as it were. Chelsea did manage to put 3 past them, 2 of which were brilliant, pieces of play by Werner. Long balls over the top can be a, bit of a concern for Southampton, and Calvert-Lewin definitely has the pace for that. They will have, Richarlison will be a miss for them, which who also kind of provides a bit of a kind of an auxiliary forward alongside Calvert-Lewin at times, but James can definitely pick a pass, and I think that Calvert-Lewin will do good in this game week as well. He has yet to blank, so how can you kind of not back someone who has, hasn't known what it's like to not score? He's becoming the English version of Filippo Inzaghi under Carlo Ancelotti. James Rodriguez has been absolutely excellent, and I wouldn't put it past James to Calvert-Lewin this week in game week 6. Another obvious captaincy choice this week is Wolves' Raul Jimenez. He currently sits at 8.5 million, which is initially his starting price after going up and then coming back down. He's on 24 points, 3 goals this season, just over 20% ownership, and had 8 points in their 1-0 victory over Leeds. And he has a very tasty fixture versus Newcastle with an FDR rating of 2 in game week 6. Wolves are probably going to win this game 1-0 or 2-0. I think Jimenez is likely to be the goal scorer, and he might do the magical thing, which he hardly ever does, only did 3 times last season, which is get a double-digit haul. I think he could definitely do that versus Newcastle. We saw leading up to the goal versus Leeds, he had to, wriggle past a few defenders before his shot was aimed at the goal, which ultimately deflected and went in. But against Newcastle, I don't think that they, pose as much of a threat defensively. I think they're going to want to sit in, which will cause Wolves to have to try to break them down. But if Wolves play their cards right, they could definitely hurt Newcastle, who just defensively just aren't great. They didn't score a goal technically versus Manchester United. It was an own goal. They could have potentially scored one versus, with Callum Wilson in there. But overall, just not really a threat on the break. St. Maximin really has to, go past 10 players. And if they ever lose the ball in possession, Jimenez is going to be the one streaking forward. I think Traore might start the next game as well, with potentially either Neto or Podence dropped. And I think that helps Jimenez out greatly. So don't be surprised if the Mexican international gets on the score sheet in game week 6. And now my differential captaincy choice for this week is the main man for Manchester City, their all-time leading goal scorer, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure he is. I mean, he scored a boatload of goals for Manchester City. You know who it is. It's Sergio Aguero. He currently sits at 10.4 million in the forward line. Only got just the 2 points in Game Week 5, where he played 60-odd minutes. 1.9% ownership. Now, if there's going to be somebody who's going to potentially do well this week, it is versus West Ham away, who shipped 3 goals inside of 15 minutes versus Tottenham Hotspurs, and then he has them in game week 6. Now, Man City are a completely different outlet to Spurs. If they get a lead, they ain't going to let it go. Especially with the likes of Aguero and Sterling, they'll just keep piling on the pressure. They'll do what they did to Watford last season, where they just scored 5 within the first 20 minutes. They'll just keep going, and he'll definitely be one to be playing catch up versus all of these forwards that are scoring like crazy, like Kane, like Calvert-Lewin, like Salah. These sorts of players that are going for the golden boot race. Aguero's going to want to catch back up to them and prove a point that he still has something to offer at the top end of the league. And I think he wants to, prove to Pep himself, who's kind of, I guess, maybe seeing Jesus as more of the, the future of Manchester City in the forward line, that he still has, the best boots on the boot rack, as it were, the man who puts the ball in the back of the net. Also, with De Bruyne out, I can expect him to be on penalties. It'll be interesting to see that dynamic when De Bruyne does come back. There is also a vouch for Sterling, who typically scores in away fixtures, and I think Sterling will benefit from Aguero being on the pitch as well. Having that proper number 9 to kind of feed and lay off will definitely help them out. Aguero, is, the man that is going to take chances when he gets them in front of goal. And I think with their front 3 of Mahrez, Aguero, and Sterling, I think they can't do anything really wrong versus West Ham. It's just their defense that's a bit, kind of, worrying at the back. I did predict City to win 3-1 this week, and I'm sticking by that, and I would not be surprised if Aguero gets 1 or 2 of those going into game week 6. And that's going to do it for this week's captaincy picks. If you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. It greatly helps out the channel, and make sure to turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And leave a comment down below as to any captaincy choices that you might be considering this game week that I have not covered in this video. Also, make sure to follow us over on Twitter and Twitch. It's PilotFlame226 on those platforms. We'll be doing our deadline stream this Thursday at 7 p.m. EDT, the same time we did the preview this week on the Monday. The VOD should already be up on YouTube as well. And give us a follow over on Twitter so that you can see when we go live on Twitch, as well as when we post our videos on YouTube, and what is coming out during the week as we do a weekly bulletin on Sundays. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.